All right. All right. So, hey, ATC. It looks like you and I are the only ones here right now at the moment. We're of course gonna wait around for some people. Hopefully, Tug um, is streaming right now as well. So hopefully, and I did kind of suggest that when he was done, if he wanted to come over. So hopefully, maybe we'll get some more people from his stream when they're done there, as well as our regular crew. Um, oh, I saw your reply here. How much? That sounds pretty cool. That you got some software to where you can do intros and outros. Action, toys, channel. Action, toys, channel. Well, as we sit around, we're waiting for some more people to show up. Hopefully, they'll show up soon. Dropped in on Leto's stream this morning, so him and Anonymity were hanging out because Anonymity was being a bit critical of Leto's gameplay, as it were, I guess, from the sounds of it. So, hmm. Did you take off on me or something like that, ATC? Says here now I'm down to 1v. Uh, there we go. Now we have 2 again. Had to refresh to get the stream working. Oh, okay. Ah. Well, you can see me, right? There's no real delay there. Look, that Woody's here. Nobody here but us chickens. Doing a little Shaggy Rogers action there, Woody. What would Woody do back in '62? Driving fancy cars, drinking in the bars, playing all the games, picking up the dames. What would Woody do? What would Woody do? Now we got 3 people in here, even though the StreamYard's still saying only 2. Hmm. Yeah. Well, Mike, the stream has a lag. It can be. Yeah, I know. Isn't that kind of the thing with most of the streams though? There's a bit of a lag. I've heard that before, not just on my stream, but I guess on other ones as well. Hmm. That's the sound of the men working on the train. Yeah. That's the sound of the men working on the chain gang. And of course, I always appreciate any likes and shares you guys can can give me to help get the word out and stuff. That's always appreciated. Um, it's a little harder for you, Woody, because you're probably viewing this on your phone, right? Hmm. Anyways, excuse me a moment. I got to go off camera for a quick sec. Be right back. Hmm. Oh, yeah, so we're already past the 5 minute mark. Um, let's see. As I'm just waiting for a few more people. We'll probably get started around the 10 minute mark. Hmm. That's the sound of the men working on the chain gang. That's the sound of the men working on the chain gang. Scooby Dooby Doo, where are you? Got some work to do now. Come on, Scooby Doo, I see you. Pretending you got a shiver. You're not fooling me, 'cause I can see the way you shake and shiver. Hey, Mike, I sent you something on Facebook. Let me know if you want something better. Oh, are you talking about those videos from earlier? Is that what you're talking about? I know earlier you did send me some videos. Let's see. Okay. Um, laugh out loud. That moment you're yelling at one of the kids and your denture falls out. Oh, kind of like from The Simpsons. The intro and outro. Now, StreamYard saying we have three people. That's good. Let's see. Let's see. So at 8.5 minutes here. So maybe I'll wait just a little while longer here. If we get a little closer to 10, and then 10 minutes, then I'll kind of go over what's on tap for tonight. Hmm. All right. So I've got 6 stories tonight, two each in anime, in comics, anime, and of course from the TV side of it, what have you. Um, Among the stories I'm going to be looking at include some news in regards to an adaptation of, I guess, a movie adaptation of the Long Halloween storyline in Batman. Um, some personal papers of Sheldon Meyer and Jerry Siegel are going up for auction. Also, a couple of, I guess, profile pieces in regards to shonen manga and romance animes. We have 4 people in here now. Yay, 4 people. Well, okay, StreamYard says 4, but YouTube still says 3. And I guess we're back down to 3. Also, let's see, there's a couple articles that I picked up, like a couple other profile pieces in the television. One is why the Flash series the 90s Flash series got canceled, and then how each of the Teen Titans in the, I guess, the 2000 Teen Titans cartoon, with the exception of one, um, got got their own season basically. So we'll be looking at all of that. See, it's still only three of us in here, so let's see. Already at we're just past the 10-minute mark, so I think I'll go ahead and start. Um, as I start getting going here. We're now at 11 minutes. Okay, so without no further ado, let's go ahead and get started on these news stories. All right, so here's the first one of the night. Batman Long Halloween adaptation lands PG-13 for quote unquote bloody images. Part 1 of the upcoming Batman the Long Halloween animated movie has been given a PG-13 rating by the Motion Picture Association. Now, as I recall, the Long Halloween story arc had something to do with Scarecrow. Um, I don't remember all the details, but anyways, it was confirmed at last year's DC Fandom virtual event that a two-part animated movie adaptation of Batman the Long Halloween was among other DC animated movie projects. Now, several months ahead of its release, the rating for the first half of the story has been revealed. As revealed by Bloody Disgusting, the Motion Picture Association has officially rated Batman the Long Halloween Part 1 PG-13 for violence, bloody images, language, and some smoking. Produced by writer Jeff Loeb and artist Tim Sale, Batman the Long Halloween was a limited series that ran for 13 issues between 1996 and 1997. Set after the events of Batman Year One, the series follows the Dark Knight as he hunts a serial killer known only as Holiday. That's right. From what I understand, I guess this guy, what he would do is he'd kill people based on the holidays, as I recall. Let's see. Neil Innes, bass guitar. Hmm. Okay, let's see now. Who, of course, commits murders on holidays. The series was also notable for creating Two Face's definitive origin story for the post-crisis on Infinite Earth's DC universe, and for turning minor Batman villain Calendar Man into a much eerier character. The Calendar Man was one of the Earth One or the Silver Age Batman's enemies. He's what he basically would commit crimes based on calendar dates, particularly famous calendar dates. For example, he probably would try to steal something like Mount Rushmore or something, or maybe the Liberty Bell on the 4th of July. That's Calendar Man. Um, Batman: The Long Halloween Part One is set for release in September 2021. Part Two is set for fall 2021. Okay, well they're both. Oh wait, okay. I'm sorry. Set for release in summer 2021, with Part Two set for fall 2021. No further information regarding this film has been revealed as of yet. Well, it was still a bit of a ways off. So, anyways, there we go. There's the first story there. You guys have anything to say on it? um, so yeah, the Long Halloween was based on a serial killer basing killings on holidays. So we keep floating back and forth between 3 and 4 people, I guess. Hmm. Does have anything to say about it? Hmm. Alrighty then. I guess we'll move on to the next story here. Second one from the comics portion of it. Jerry Siegel and Sheldon Meyer's personal papers head to auction. Of course, everybody knows Jerry Siegel as the writer for Superman. And of course, as I talked about a couple weeks ago, he and Joe Shuster, aside from Superman, also were involved in creating characters such as Slam Bradley, Doctor Occult, Steve Carson, and the Federal Men. Let's see, Sandy Keene of Radio Squad, Henri Duval, um, and then Sheldon Meyer's biggest claim to fame is Scribbly Gibbet and the Golden Age Red Tornado Ma Hunkel. So that's where we're at with all that. Hmm. We got 4 people again. Yay, 4 people. Okay, so with all that being said, let's read this article. Jerry Siegel and Sheldon Meyer's personal papers head to auction. The estate of comic book icon Sheldon Meyer is auctioning off papers, the legend, including papers of the legend, including correspondence with Superman creator Jerry Siegel. These are 2 big names back in the 30s, Jerry Siegel and Sheldon Meyer. The estate of comic book great Sheldon Meyer has offered up a treasure trove of Meyer's personal papers and correspondence to the auction house. Nate D. Sanders' auction and correspondence between Meyer and Superman co-creator Jerry Siegel is up for bid. Meyer, who passed away in 1991, was one of the earliest employees of National Allied Publications for Major Malcolm Wheeler Nicholson, the company that would later become DC. Yeah, as they started out as national publications and More Fun Magazine Incorporated. But oddly enough, his greatest impact in DC history occurred when he worked for another company. Meyer was working for Max Gaines, who he had previously worked with at Dell Comics at the newspaper comic strip syndicate, the McClure Syndicate. When Meyer saw a rejected newspaper story by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster called Superman, Meyer loved the strip, but couldn't get anyone at McClure to take an interest in it. National was launching a new anthology series called Action Comics. Action Comics #1, of course, cover date June of 1938. Came out, I believe it was April 18th of 38. April 18th or April 14th, one of the two. 1938. Um, let's see now. And Meyer had raved about the strip so much that Gaines called National to recommend that it makes Superman one of the features in that series. The success of Superman created a comic book boom, and Gaines soon left McClure to form his own comic book company, All American Comics. And at the time, All American Comics would give us characters like the Golden Age Green Lantern, the Golden Age Flash, the Golden Age Wonder Woman. Um, those are a lot of the characters that would fall under All American that would eventually become part of DC. In conjunction with National, and brought Meyer along with him as an editor. When Gaines sold the company to National, Meyer remained with National, where he worked the rest of his career as a writer artist after retiring from editorial in 1948, mostly on his hit creation, the Sugar and Spice series, about two mischievous babies with adult vocabularies with each other. So basically, long before there was Stewie Griffin, there was Sugar and Spice. Uh, let's see if anybody's saying anything. This, I guess nobody's really saying much. They're just into the story here. Okay. But okay, we got 4 people. Goody. One of the items being auctioned off is a 1983 letter from Siegel to Meyer about a then recent article that Meyer had been quoted in about how the Superman strip was adapted into Action Comics #1. The first Superman stories were intended as as newspaper strips, as they had to be cut up and reformatted for the comic book format, which is why a Superman story in Action Comics #1 has an abrupt cliffhanger in the middle of the tale, which is true. The first story in action, the first Superman story was actually a 2-part. They made it as a 2-parter, so I can attest to that. Let's see now. Okay. Meyer had said that national staffers had made alterations, and Siegel disagreed. But even in his disagreement, he made it clear how highly he thought about Meyer. Joe, Superman co-creator Joe Shuster, and I recall the Superman cut and paste job very differently than you do. We have much more than just memory to rely on, as you will see from the enclosed letter. I loved your letter in Detective Comics magazine about those early Wheeler Nicholson days. It was hilarious. I hope you understand the position of Joe and me in this matter, and that our regard for you is as high as ever. Or ever, I think it's supposed to say ever, but every there. Warm regards, signed Jerry. Jerry Siegel, CC, Joe Shuster. The other major lot being auctioned off is a collection of Meyer's journals and notes. Many of these notes detailed Meyer's complicated relationship with his longtime former boss, Gaines, who helped Meyer make a career in comics. But Meyer likely found games to be dismissive at times. As noted, at one point he had a dream this morning. I was working for games again. He was introducing me to somebody, I think. I'm not sure, but whether he was introducing me or simply describing me to a third party in my presence, he said in what I felt as a disparaging manner that I was only an assistant around here. Oh boy. I flew off the handle at him. The bidding of these historic lots um, will be ending at 5 p.m. Pacific today. So I guess it's probably already done because we're already past 5 Pacific. But basically, they were auctioning off a lot of the personal, like letters, correspondence, journals, that kind of thing of of Myers, which included correspondences with Jerry Siegel, Superman fame. So yeah, so now we're at 20. So how you guys holding up out there? Notice you haven't been talking much, so maybe I know you're just listening in probably. Okay. Let's see. Yes, listening in. Go over and getting cuddly. Be right back. Oh, okay, I get it. Uh, as you're about to head into the weekend, I get it. Yeah. What a lucky man he was. What about you, ATC? How you doing, man? Still there? La dee dee da dee da, la dee dee da dee da. Sorry, Mike. Oh, okay. I was just making sure you guys were still out. I hadn't seen any activity there in a while, so in terms of conversation. So I was just wondering if you guys were still there. Okay. I guess I'll continue on then. We're just barely coming up on 30 minutes. I'm already about halfway through the stories here. Man, I'm going really quick here. Six Shonen Jump manga worth reading that were canceled, in parentheses, that were canceled after 1 year. Shonen Jump is ruthless when it comes to cancellations, and these six manga were axed after just 1 year. However, they're still worth reading. Weekly Shonen Jump cancels manga titles on a regular basis, arguably prematurely in some cases, leaving them to disappear from popular consciousness. This is to be expected in some ways, as it's hard for fans to keep up with every new manga that comes out unless they really stand out. But there have been series um, that, while flawed, or unable to compete with the likes of established hits like Yu Yu Hakusho or Naruto, um, had a lot of potential, even if they flew under the reader's radar during the time they were running in the magazine. Which that can happen in any medium, of course. Sometimes it's like it's kind of funny, because how I myself got into anime, you know, um, back in the early 2000s. I was flipping through the channels one night and just happened upon Dot Hack Sign, which, of course, at the time was airing at midnight on Cartoon Network. And and then I started, watching it. Hey, this looks pretty cool. And then after a while, of course, started seeing some other things. Yu Yu Hakusho, which became one of my all-time favorites. Um, that got my attention because of the trailer, the teaser that they would always use. Um, Cartoon Network would always use for it. So, anyways, I'm about to embark on a 10-plus year adventure into fixing an action figure my mom got me, and since she's gone, it's feeling like a dream come true. I'm kind of hoping I don't mess this up. Well, hey, go for it, man. Power to you, man. Give it your best shot. Um, with that in mind, here are some relatively obscure weekly shonen jump titles that were canceled approximately 1 year after being launched. They might not be the cream of the crop, but they're still worth checking out. Tetsu no Don Coyote. Don Quixote. First published in 1982, Tetsu no Don Quixote is a motorcycle racing manga centered on a young bike rider named Kurtotsu Gen, who becomes a champion in the motocross racing scene, also known as off road motorcycle racing. Gen is promoted from the B League to the A League, but upon doing so, finds himself with more competition than ever before. The two-volume story centers on its races against the legendary Red Army, a league of motorcycle racers who have dominated the A League and aren't ready for a hotshot B leaguer to steal their spotlight. That is a classic storyline. The young up and comer trying to knock off the established stars. That's a classic storyline. You know, that's in this case being applied to the world of motorcycle racing. Tetsu no Don Quixote, is a brief manga that would have ended the career of its mangaka had an editor at Jump, Nobuhiko Horie, not given the 22-year-old a second chance. The creator of Tetsu no Don Quixote is Tetsuo Hara, and the manga that he would make to redeem himself in Jump after this was Fist of the North Star. Ah, Yeah, I can see the similarities in artwork there. Look at him, he does have some resemblance to the lead character. I recently watched Fist of the North Star, the anime, so there are some interesting similarities there. Um, Clearly, Horie could see signs of greatness in Don Quixote. The author just needed the right story to bring out. Don Quixote remains a wonderfully illustrated and fun sports manga all the same. So as we continue on here, let's see. Otoko Zaka. 1984's Otoko Zaka centers on Jingi Kikukawa, an alpha male 13-year-old who thinks he's incredibly tough because he's beaten up everyone in his middle school. However, this confident punk eventually has a reality check when he meets someone outside of his middle school and predictably gets his butt kicked. Not dismayed, Jingi decides to just train hard enough to beat up everyone in Japan. Oh boy, this guy sounds like the basis for Yusuke Urameshi of Yu Yu Hakusho. Fight, 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 fight! O- Otoko Zaka is a bizarre case on this list since it was canceled after a year in Jump due to a lack of readership, only to come back decades later in 2014 as a serialized manga published online, ending with its 11th volume in 2020. Its creator, Masami Kurumada, um, has published several manga in the decade spanning in his decade spanning career. Though he's most well known for Saint Seiya. Ah, yeah. Saint Seiya. Got in America, one of the dub companies when they dubbed it called it Knights of the Zodiac. That was the Canadian dub company that did that one. Um, let's see. Otoko Zaka is essentially the distillation um, of Kuromuta's feelings on true masculinity. It is also hard to read it and not think about later titles centered on middle school punks discovering a world larger than their immediate circle, like Yu Yu Hakusho or Slam Dunk. Mm-hmm. Yeah, as I said, there was some Yu Yu Hakusho aspect in that, so I could see the combinations there. Back up to 4 people. Yay, 4 people. As always, guys, I do appreciate the likes and the shares. If you guys can help out with that, help get the word out, that'd be appreciated. Anyways, as we continue on here, Bow. I guess how that's pronounced, Baoh. 1984's Bow barely lasted 10 months, yet packed in enough over the top wildness to satisfy horror junkies for 10 years. The series focuses on 17-year-old Ikuro Hashizawa, who, with the help of a 9-year-old psychic girl named Sumire, escapes a secret laboratory. Ikuro has been infused with the Bao parasite, a monstrous doomsday weapon that could bring an end to humanity. While these two try to run away, the government pursues them, resulting in some grotesque body horror and gory violence. Whoa! Gory violence! Wow! A parasite, living in a parasite, kind of like a Trill, maybe, of Star Trek fan. I thank you guys who have, liked and shared the video. That does help, after all. Bao is one of the most exaggerated horror manga to ever be published in Jump. This should come as no surprise, of course, when you learn that Bao was created by Hirohiko Araki, who just 2 years after Bao's cancellation would create JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. While the manga was canceled, it did prove popular enough to inspire a single episode OVA by Studio Pero. Studio Pero, again, Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho and Naruto and Bleach, some of the greatest animes some of the greatest animes out there. And Toho. Bao feels very much in the style of Guyver or Genocyber, only through the lens of the man who would one day create the Joestar family. Do 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 do. Let's see. 4 people here. I guess one of them did leave us, it would seem. But anyways, as we are continuing on here, um, Tende Showaru Cupid. Tende Showaru Cupid centers on a 15-year-old boy named Ryuji who is shy but sweet. He also happens to be the son of a long line of Yakuza bosses who are sick and tired of their boy being too sensitive and want him to become a real playboy instead. To this end, they hire a literal devil, the adorable Maria, to teach Ryuji how to be a playboy, like their parents. Social awkwardness and hilarity ensue. Oh yeah, trying to make a shy, awkward kid into a Casanova. That 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 just screams romantic comedy. Screams romantic comedy right there. Trials and tribulations and foibles of wow, we're fine now back. Um. So yeah. So anyway, let's continue on here. Let's see. Tende Showaru Cupid is noteworthy for a few reasons. It is the debut work of Yoshihiro Togashi, arguably one of the greatest manga creators to ever work for Jump. However, Togashi considers this manga an absolute failure. um, well, you got to start somewhere, though. I mean, very rarely would you actually hit the ground running with success. That's a very very rare occasion that you strike gold right off the bat. However, okay, we read that part. The manga wasn't truly canceled. Rather, Togashi felt such great anxiety trying to write romance. He just stopped and created Yu Hakusho instead. Ah, oh, so this is a guy who, okay, one of my favorite all-time animes, of course. However, while Togashi considers this early effort a flop, there's a lot to like in this manga. It sports a lot of well-rounded, likable characters. The premise, especially the divide between the expectations of family versus your very own happiness, is sincere in its message. It's not a bad four-volume romance, though it obviously pales in comparison to the work Togashi would create in the years to come. Let's see. All right. So we're getting up to 5 people now. Yay, 5 people. Welcome, newer people who just came in. I hope you guys are enjoying the content thus far. So on to the next one here. Kyoku. Kyoku. Hentai Common. This sounds like another comedy. Starting in 1992 and ending in 1993, just slightly over a year from its debut, Kyo Kai, yeah, Kyo Ku is an absurd comedy series. Yeah, as I thought, that focuses on a teenage martial arts student named Kyosuke, who is remarkably incompetent with women. Oh boy, he probably falls on his face quite a bit in this series, I'm guessing. Let's see. Um, However, one day when the girl he's crushing on, Aiko, is taken hostage, he dons an improvised disguise with the first thing he can find, a pair of panties. Oh, don't tell me they sent this guy out wearing panties for a mask. Oh man, you guys hear that? Apparently, if I'm reading that sentence right, they're basically saying that his mask is a pair of panties. Uh, hey all, I'm super tired. Sorry. Hey Bat Goat. Hey man, I hope you're doing better, man. Hope you'll be able to be with me tomorrow for the um for the comics retrospective. Um, does that man wearing woman's undergarment on his head? Does that mean wearing women's? That's what I'm interpreting. That's what I'm interpreting there, Woody. That's what I'm thinking it probably means. Um, let's see. To his surprise, he finds himself gaining superpowers to oh boy. This leads him to become a penny wearing superhero because, of course, it does. Oh boy. Woody, it looks like we hit it right on the head there. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'll email you tomorrow, Mike. Not sure if I'll be up to it. Well, yeah, we'll probably go. We'll go back and forth. As you know. Yes, I guess that from the drawing alone. uh, let's see. As a parody of superhero comics, it actually gained a decent degree of success in Japan and received multiple live-action adaptations. Oh, Oh boy. Okay. Imagine turning on your television or going to a movie theater and watching on the big screen a guy running around with panties on his head fighting crime. That screams comedy. It screams comedy. Ay, 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 ay. Uh, I mean, granted, I've seen a few interesting animes that have like panties involved, like ninja nonsense, where there's this constant theme of Master on Sakamaru getting no Shinobu to go out and steal panties for him. Hey, but this is Penny Man has a live action movie as well. Uh, yeah, I'm guessing because that's basically what they're saying here. Boy. uh, let's see. The story is pretty stupid, and much of the humor is fairly dated. However, for fans of concepts too ridiculous to take seriously, this isn't a bad option. Yeah, this sounds like something that if you really want to laugh, if you really want to LMAO, it's probably something to read or watch or whatever. At a short 56 chapters plus a 2008 revival by School Rumble author Jin Kobayashi. Um, there is enough material here to give occupy you for a weekend. Yep, I would agree with that assessment. Let's see now. Doll puppeteer Seikon. Doll Puppeteer Seikon is a mystery shonen series that lasted only 8 months in Jump, ending in 1996. This might have to do with just how surreal the premise was. Doll Puppeteer Seikon focuses on Seikon, a puppeteer detective who considers his 100-year-old puppet to be part of his family. Um, with the puppet coming to life whenever Seikon holds him. Hmm. Reminds me of the Arnold Wexler, the ventriloquist in Batman and Scarface. Um, the two solve crimes together, often being underestimated by the criminal underworld due to their odd couple setup. Doll Puppeteer Seikon was written by Masaru Miyazaki. However, while Miyazaki has done other work, the manga's illustrator, Takashi Obata, is more noteworthy to longtime Jump fans. The illustrator is most notable for work such as Death Note, Hikaru no Go, and Bakuman. Doll Puppeteer Seikon might be one of his most obscure works for Jump, but for the beautiful artwork alone, it's worth searching for. Hey, so there you go. So that's that story. Yeah, anime. Guy running around with pennies on his head. Solid, GA, solid. Hey, ATC. Solid. Solid as a rock. That's why you said it. And back goat. Da 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 da. Back goat. Da 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 da. Back goat. Da 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 da. Back goat. Da 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 da. Back goat. Back goat. Back goat. Da 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 da. Back goat. Back goat. Back goat. Da 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 da. Anyway, solid. A back goat. Mike Walters. I subbed from Tug today. What you mean? You subbed to Tug's channel? Is that what you're saying? You subscribed to Tug's channel? Solid. I actually thought you were already on his channel, but I was over there earlier. Uh, that's cool. What's it? Wow, wow. We're all the way up to 57 minutes. So now we're really starting to measure out the time pretty well here. So we'll go on to the next story here. We're halfway through the 6 stories tonight. Got through 3 of them. Here's the next one we're gonna look at. I'll be right back, guys. I gotta step away before I go. Let me check this last one out. Meant to say I unsubbed. Oh, you unsubbed. Oh, okay. Any particular reason why there, man? Hope you don't have anything against Tug. Not tired of hearing about Johnny. I guess I can understand that. Anyways, I'm gonna step away from my computer for a couple of minutes, guys. I'll be right back. Right, I'm back. Let's see what you guys have been saying since. Yeah, I did see that you said you meant to say you unsubbed, and then Woody responded, got tired of, which is what I had figured as well. Read the next line, Mike. Um, quit staring at his avatar. Uh, um, that was my reason too. Which I did read all the lines there. I think about fell into his new Glasswell um, bat coat. Oh boy! How about that? I need to reduce the size of my Auto 3 RoboCop pistol. Laugh out loud. All right, guys. So let's see. As we All right. So, anyways, let's move on to the next story here. If you loved Bridgertown, um, here are 7 period romance anime to swoon over. Haven't had enough of the steamy romance series Bridgerton. Um, Here are some historical romance anime to swoon about and spill tea over. Bridgertown is one of the top shows on Netflix right now. Bridgerton, a mixture of Downtown Abbey and Gossip Girl. Bridgerton is centered around a family of 8 children trying to find their romantic partners during the Regency era of London. But at only 8 episodes, it definitely leaves viewers wanting more. To fill this void, here are a few historical romance animes with the quintessential Bridgerton glamour. Snow White with the red hair. Torada Akazuki's Snow White with the Red Hair is a love story between a court herbalist named Shirayuki and a prince named Zen Wistaria. Shirayuki has beautiful red hair, rare in the kingdom of Tanbarum, Tanbarum, which unfortunately gets her noticed by Prince Raji, who demands she become his concubine. But Shirayuki refuses the prince's advances, cuts her hair, and escapes to the kingdom of Clarines. Along the way, she befriends Prince Zen, saving him after he's poisoned by an apple meant for Shirayuki. Amazed by her herbalist skills, Prince Zen hires her to become the court herbalist in his kingdom. That does sound like a pretty interesting story. The series focuses on a romance between 2 individuals from different social classes. Social class is an issue within romantic relationships, such as the relationship between the eldest Bridgerton son and Viscount Anthony and the opera singer Sienna Rosso. Yona of the Dawn. Oh, I remember seeing this anime. This anime was pretty good too. Yona of the Dawn was pretty good. Um, I also, the opening theme was real good too. Yeah, let's see. Hey, hey, good evening. Just got home. Going to eat real quick. All right. Hey, hey, anonymity. 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 Let's see. Hey, Anon. Hey, hey, Action Toys. How's it going? Hey, Anon. Evening, that solid Redfield. How's it going? Um, good going to do going to do a gaming stream tomorrow. Hey, Mike, Toys, Woody, Batgoat, Solid, and Anon. How are y'all? All right, we've been going through some stories here. Missed about half of them already. I'll stop by. Sorry I'm late. Just woke up and I'm heading to work. All right. Evening, Leto. Um, Leto and chat. Good L. We'll be doing a stream tomorrow between 2:30 and 3 p.m. Be safe and have a good one. Hey, Leto. Hey, Anon. How goes it, buddy? Got it. Yeah, Leto, you and Anon were really going at it this morning. He was critiquing your game playing stuff. We'll check it out, Solid. Um, no, Mino, T. Yeah, I based the music off, of course, from Justice League Unlimited. So just in case you guys are wondering, just got my RoboCop figure in Leto. Guess what? My points are either too small or too big. How about so I'm going to print a giant file full of print size. I'll find the correct one. Ha ha ha, Leto's a fighting gamer, more an RPG gamer. Um, I was baked yanking his chain today. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I know. You guys were talking about that when I was there. Laugh aloud, Mike. That was positive. Yes, I know. I know they were joshing with each other. I get that. I I'm not necessarily being overly critical here. I just was taking note of it. They were joshing with each other. They're having fun with it. So hey, what can you say? So, anyways, as we continue on with the article here, Yona of the Dawn. Yona of the Dawn is a fantasy shoujo series by Mizuho Kusanagi. Yona was once the princess of Koka, um, but after Su Wong staged a coup d'etat, Yona and her bodyguard, Hack, flee to uh, Fuga, the capital city of the Wind Tribe. Hawk's adopted grandfather tells Yona um, the myth of the Crimson Dragon King and his 4 dragon warriors, leading her to go on a journey seeking these warriors so that they can assist her in saving her country. Yeah, again, good story involved in that. Yona is much like Bridgerton's main heroine, Daphne Bridgerton. Both Yona and Daphne grew up in a sheltered and overprotective household, and so they don't know much about the world around them until they ventured outside the castle walls. The Earl and the Fairy. The Earl and the Fairy is based on a light novel series written by Mizu Taki and illustrated by Asako Takaboshi. Lydia Carlton has a strong interest in fairies, hence why her nickname Fairy Doctor. Lydia becomes the advisor of Edgar J.C. Ashenbert, also known as legendary Blue Knight Earl. Um, they go on a sea voyage to London to obtain a treasured sword um, that has been in his family for generations. The Earl and the Fairy is set in the Victorian era, 1837 to 1901, when Queen Victoria reigned England. Bridgerton is set during the Regency era of England, 1811 to 1820, which was the time when King George III was unfit to rule due to his illness. Although they aren't accurate portrayals, both series um, gives viewers a glimpse of English life during those historical periods. That was a, oh, okay, we already saw all that. Okay. Plus, that RPG he was playing, he watched quite a few people uh, fail and quit. I saw the third print. I thought it was big because it was the size as a Hot Wheel display. Leto got the hang of the system, and now he's whooping, whooping. I still need to watch Chevalier. Yeah, Chevalier Dion was pretty good too. I've seen that one. That one was pretty good. Another one that's not mentioned, I don't think it's mentioned here. They may mention it here that goes into this article here that I think I haven't seen yet. I don't know if I will see it. Is the story of Sankoku. That one was a pretty interesting one as well, in the same vein as these. Laugh out loud. Let true. That's the one a friend sent me. He said mine wasn't bad, but his was better. I printed, and I'll admit it was better. Let's see, Romeo X Juliet. I think it's actually pronounced Romeo Juliet, by the way. That's how they. Okay. Romeo Juliet takes William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet to new heights, and I've seen this one too. Like the play, this anime is a love story between two people from enemy households, Montague and Capulet. Juliet Capulet plans to overthrow Leontis Montague um, after the latter's coup killed every one of the ruling house Capulet in the past. However, Juliet meets Romeo, Prince Montague's son, and they both fall in love with each other. Romeo is a kind hearted man who opposes his father's tyranny, just like Juliet. Romeo and Bridgerton's Simon Basset, known as the Duke of Hastings, have fathers that are obsessed with power and nobility. Both of these characters do not want to follow their father's footsteps, but instead they decide to pave a different path for themselves. Hong Ling Fei. Hong Ling Fei, or Psychic Princess, is a Chinese animated series. Qian Yushi is the oldest daughter of the prime minister, forced to live in the mountains because of her quote unquote abnormal nature. She takes the place of her younger sister as Yi Yongming's bride. In the beginning, Yi Yongming was cold and distant towards her, but he eventually falls for her. Yi Yongming's character is similar to Simon Bassett's. Both of them are aloof and reserved when interacting with others. In the beginning, Simon and Yi Yongming were cold towards their lovers, but once they started to get to know them, they slowly opened up their hearts and became kind and affectionate. Yeah, this is the one I was just talking about. Okay, I know it, of course, as the under the English title, "The Story of Sengoku." This is Sengoku Monogatari, which I learned the term monogatari means story in Japanese. This was a very good story. Lasted for 39 episodes. It's something, well, I don't know if any of you are that interested in such stories, but if you are, it's a good one to check out. That's why I never do blind playthroughs, but I blind play through you, get a raw and unique recreation Redfield. Blind is fun though. Oh yeah. So, anyways, as we're continuing on, so hey, Batgoat and Woody, if you guys are still here, I hope you guys are doing okay, man. You guys are enjoying the stream thus far. Um, Mudnog, uh, Mudnog, Monogatari is I think how it's pronounced. Um, I think Monogatari. I think is how it's actually pronounced there. Anonymity. Looking like DSP isn't fun to me. Yo, DSP Redfield. So, anyways, let's get to this one because this one is one I've actually seen a couple of times and it's pretty cool. Um, Sangoku Monogatari is an anime based on the light novels written by Sai Yukino and illustrated by Kairi Yura. It follows the story of a hardworking young woman named Shure Hong. She comes from a noble family that has fallen on hard times. To make ends meet, she works at a temple school. Shure dreams of passing the imperial examinations and becoming a court official, even though it is forbidden to women. She became allowed to work in the courts when she gets hired to join the imperial household as Emperor Ryuki Shi's consort and teaches him how to be a proper roller. As I said, this is a pretty fun story. Shure Hong is similar to the character Eloise Bridgerton. They are both intellectuals with little to no interest in marriage. They have ambitious dreams of pursuing education, but cannot do so because of their status as women. In both series, Shure and Eloise envy men because they have more freedom and power. Yet their status as women doesn't stop them from pursuing their goals. Let's see. So yeah, so ha 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 DSP. Um, I don't know much about him, but from what I've seen, he's oh, okay. You've never heard of Dark Delphi? I haven't heard of him either. So um, oh no. Google his name and enter the rabbit hole. How about just looking at bounding into comics and E.K. Johnston looks like someone I know. But it's them. I don't blame them for not saying anything. Anyways, my next life as a villainess. All routes lead to doom. That's an interesting title for such a concept. Let's see how this one goes. My next life as a villainess. All routes lead to doom is an anime series based on a Japanese light novel series written by Satoru Yamaguchi and illustrated by Name Hidaka. The story is centered on the life of Katerina Klaas, the young daughter of a noble family. Um, One day, she accidentally hits her head and retrieves the memories of her past life. She realizes that she has been reincarnated into the villainous character of an Otome dating sim game called Fortune Lover. Oh, interesting. To prevent a doom route from happening to her, Katarina becomes friends with all of the other characters, but she doesn't realize that her changed attitude has some surprising consequences. Katarina is similar to Daphne in Bridgerton because, as women, they are trying to obtain the best life for themselves, even if it is through marriage or romantic relations. Katarina is kind everyone to prevent being exiled or killed, but it also led her to have many potential romantic partners. Daphne is searching for a marriage partner, thus, she acts like a proper lady to men at the courting parties and debutante balls so that the men see her as a potential wife. So there you go. There's that story. So we've gone through four stories as far. Uh, nah, Redfield. I don't go into pull without pouring propane into then lighting a match. Okay. Alrighty then. So that's all for that story. Oh, now the time to get to let's take a look before we get to the last two stories. Of course, let's see the time. Oh wow, wow! It took me quite a bit of time to get through that story. Okay, so I have to wrap the other two up pretty quickly. We're already coming up on an hour and a half. Okay, now I know Batgoat had told me that he might not be so just a heads up, I'll pro with I'm hoping Batgoat will will be able to do it tomorrow night. But in the event he doesn't, if anybody wants to volunteer to serve as co-host tomorrow night, let me know. I'm considering sending the link out to maybe one or two of you guys to see if you guys want to. Um, if any of you want to join me as co-host, you know, either with Batgoat or even without Batgoat, if for whatever reason Batgoat cannot do it tomorrow night, you know. Tagged you in a tweet. Anyone see the news that the Mandalorian is going to lead into the race Star Wars? Um, Woody is a good co-host as well. Yeah, I might try to see if he can do it as well. Um, I'll Juno in, laugh out loud. I'll jump in. All right, yeah, that will help if you know. What? Hopefully, Ray Star Wars fades into nothingness. Okay, so let me try to get through these a couple more stories here. Um, Story that I'm gonna do, and then there we go. Here's the first of the kind of TV series ones that I'm gonna cover here. Why the '90s Flash TV series was canceled. The '90s Flash series was canceled after 22 episodes. Here's why the show met an unfortunate demise. Popular and beloved DC Comics heroes, The Flash, is garnering lots of attention these days. Fans are buzzing about the upcoming 2022 The Flash film and the multiverse it's allegedly going to bring to the DC Extended Universe. Ezra Miller is set to reprise his Justice League role as Barry Allen, with reports of other DCEU heroes to join as well. Prior to Miller's Flash, Grant Gustin portrayed the Scarlet Speedster in the popular Arrowverse television series The Flash. But years before either Gustin or Miller took the mantle, actor John Wesley Shipp starred in the '90s Flash show. However, this series was extremely short lived, only airing for about 8 months, basically one season. Here, we look at why Barry Allen's 90s series was canceled. I don't know if any of you do actually remember. I don't know if any of you do remember that series. Um, Feel free, of course, to comment if you like. If you do, I like Woody as a co-host. You need Leto and Redfield to co. Well, yeah. Well, I would think of that too. I don't. Leto though is usually going to work, so that's why he does. But if Redfield wants to, I mean, I can send him the link as well. Um, the '90s show was a fun watch. I can hardly remember the '90s one. I know I've seen it. Yeah, it lasted only for one season, and it kind of ended up being kind of obscure too. So in that regard, so A Flash aired on CBS on September 20th, 1990. As previously stated, Barry Allen was played by John Wesley Shipp, who interestingly later played Dr. Henry Allen, Barry's father, in the Arrowverse series. The show opened with Flash's origin story. Barry worked as a forensic scientist for the Central City Police when one day he was struck by lightning and doused in chemicals in his lab. This incident caused him to develop super speed, and thus he became the crime fighting Flash. Yeah, it's kind of funny because both Barry Allen, the Silver Age Earth 1 Flash, and Jay Garrick, um, the Golden Age Earth 2 Flash, their origins actually are quite similar. You know, in Barry's case, it was just some random chemicals, but in the case of Jay Garrick, he was exposed to hard water vapors. So, um, this incident caused to develop, and thus he Um, the series documented his heroic adventures and attempts at living a double life. Guess that's what his costume looked like in the show there. Before Ship entered his role as the Flash, showrunners Danny Bilson and Paul DeMeo um, began development for the series back in 1988. Initially, they conceived a show featuring several superheroes, including Flash, but that project wasn't made. 2 years later, in 1990, then new CBS Entertainment president Jeff Sagansky expressed interest in creating a Flash series, and Bilson and DeMeo were brought on to produce it. Things started out well for the show. Bilson and DeMeo produced a 2 hour long pilot episode detailing the Flash's origin story, complete with presenting his super speed and his over exaggerated muscly suit. Um, However, things quickly began to take turn for the worse. Apparently, Bilson and DeMeo thought it would be wise to take inspiration from Tim Burton's Batman series, which was popular at the time. They incorporated Batman's gothic. Oh yeah, yeah. That's just not gonna work with the Flash. Gothic energy into the Flash, but the dark um, grunginess of City didn't work well with Barry's world. Of course, it didn't. The Flash was always general. Jay, whether it's Jay Garrick or Barry Allen or Wally West, they all had one thing in common. They were more generally positive. Just watch the Justice League Unlimited episode, Flash and Substance, and you'll get a good idea of that. Let's see. As an article from AV Club stated, the resulting Central City exists in a perpetual cultural twilight, trapped between 1955 and 1985 in a way that could be fascinating, but I'm guessing that maybe that's supposed to be from the show Flash and Iris West. Barry Allen and Iris West right there. Okay. So I know you guys. Let's see. Hardly remember '90s one. I know. I've seen it. Okay. Nope. Really ain't on. The outro was accurate. The lab accident, and it showed the Flash's progression to faster speeds. Lava, another great show that was cut short was Nightman. Let's see. I seen the tapes we had. My dad would record some shows back then. I remember watching The Flash around 95, 96 ish. Ha ha ha. CBS, CBS, no wonder. The action toys. I have no. Okay, I have no desire to co-host. Okay, I remember one where they would take the portals through time too, as they couldn't control where they were going. Now ain't on it was a fun show. TP, too bad, Redfield. I think you would do a great job. I don't want I don't want face and voice out on the internet. I hope Bat Goat is Friday's host, as I like seeing that mutton stash flow for it. Well, yeah, I mean, I hope so too. I think Bat Goat and I have a very good chemistry. When we're doing like the classic and stuff, and Woody as well. But I'll probably send out a. I'll send out to the link to two or three of you to the ones I think might be interested, and then we'll see. Maybe we'll have two or three co-hosts for the night. Never know. Might lead to some interesting conversations there. Sliders, it was called Sliders. I'm pretty sure. Um, Laugh Out Redfield, okay. No pressure. Just thought you'd enjoy this experience. Yeah, I mean it's fine. Action toys. We'll figure it out. So anyways, back to the story here. Um, the convoluted artistic setting wasn't the only thing off about the Flash. The plot line didn't follow a particular thread, which was admittingly common for shows of this time. However, a series such as The Flash could have greatly benefited from this as well. Many of Barry's relationships were confusing and unclear, specifically with Tina McGee, a fellow Star Labs scientist who supported Barry in his um, superhero endeavors. The two were certainly friends, but had a will they won't they relationship that is never clearly defined. Well, in the comics too, it was Iris West who was one who would end up being Barry's romantic interest. So, um, even more frustrating was the fact that the Flash never went up against a worthy opponent. He fought criminals such as a motorcycle gang leader and an escaped convict, but it would have been much more thrilling to see the Scarlet Speedster go up against a villain of his own caliber. Well, I actually thought they did have at least one of his rogues in the series. I thought they did bring in the Trickster at one point, who was actually portrayed, if I remember, by Mark Hamill. Oh my God, Sliders was awesome. Laugh out loud. You wouldn't had thought that the genius guy from the pilot would had been the one to give the Chromag slider tech. I was the F this pompous bastard fool. uh, and seeing Maggie become a brain barrier hit so hard. Losing Quinn was a blow toward the last two seasons. Ha ha ha! Action toys. Anyway, so as we continue on with this article, then. Okay, so with the lack of artistic direction, unidentified character relationships, and underwhelming villains, certainly didn't help the show. It was its shifting time slot that led to its ultimate demise. CBS originally had it slotted for 8 p.m. on Thursdays to compete with NBC's The Cosby Show in an attempt to draw the younger audience. However, Fox moved The Simpsons to the same time for the exact same reason. Oh boy, leaving The Flash to contend with two already popular shows. After The Flash debuted its pilot, CBS moved the show to Thursdays at 8:30, where it had less threatening opponents in Fox's Babes and NBC's A Different World. Later, The Flash was moved yet again, this time to Saturday nights. Death knell. But even that move wasn't enough to save the series. The Flash aired its 22nd and final episode on May 18th, 1991. Again, essentially lasting just the one season. Though the 90s Flash series met an unfortunate end, it represents a piece of superhero history. The Flash embodies the campiness that was a superhero genre of that time, before the likes of Raimi's Spider-Man and 2000's X-Men came along and ushered in a new era. It may be true that the Flash wasn't the best or longest lasting superhero show, but still a great one to watch if you want to revel in a bit of nostalgia. Wait, yeah, we probably saw that. Uh, Okay. I Lavalina, guess you. I was a sci-fi nerd. I watch everything my brother and dad watched. Ha ha ha. Ah, shucks, guys. Um, I just remember I always wanted to watch um, first first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, I guess, and Ghostbusters movies, and listen to my dad's back Sabbath's record or Black Sabbath's records. Black Sabbath. Yeah, I figured out that's what it was there. I can't bleep. I can't type. Lavalot Anon, you would dread to think about ID Quinn um, had accepted the non squeaky fence gate, um, which was his real home. Laugh aloud. Oh my God, that show was an hour and 48 minutes. Going so well, but companies killed it. I was so pissed as the OG Quinn was said to come back. How about loud? Let's see. Damn ticks, locks. Companies kill everything good. Very true, Anna. All right, well, guys, it looks like we're coming up on an hour and 50, so I'm not going to be able to get to the last story I was going to get to tonight. Let's see. Um, so, um, so what I'm going to do for tomorrow, of course, tomorrow we'll still do the the comics retrospectives. Hopefully, Batgoat will be able to join me. Um, just in case, I'll probably send the link out to, as I said, maybe two or three of you as well. To whoever may want to join me as co-host. Maybe we'll have two or three co-hosts for the night. You know, never know. Just like to have at least one person to kind of bounce stuff off of as we're going through it. Tomorrow night, of course, we're going to be looking at October 1936. The comics. Probably going to look at two comics specifically. Of course, the 10th issue of New Comics. That's one of the milestone issues, and then Funny Pages number 6 because of the fact, of course, that was due more to the name change. Funny Pages started out, of course, as Comics Magazine. Then it was Comics Magazine, Funny Pages in parentheses for a while there, and now Funny Pages. So we may look at that. So those are the two ones we'll probably focus in on, with, of course, just some cursory looks at the other titles going on at the time. Um, okay. Okay, so let's see now. Keep going, Mike. Fricata. Well, even I'm getting a little drunk. Board of directors think they have better ideas than creative teams. Yeah, men in ivory towers, right? I'll be here after I get off. Yeah, I know, but I like to make sure I have people here who are here for the whole time, so we get into it. So, all right, guys. Well, we're at an hour and 52 minutes here. So, are you guys ready for this day in Nietzsche history? Did Mike say I'm getting a little drunk? No, I did not say that. I'm getting a little dry. I may be getting a little tired, but I'm not drunk. I don't drink alcohol. I'm always here. Yeah, and that's why you'd be a good co-host. Ha ha ha! I thought he did. Eat it up. Okay, so sure eat it up. Um, looks like yay, the Nietzsche King speaketh, the Nietzsche cometh from the mouth. Laugh out loud. Sure Nietzsche. Okay. Okay, so let me just do a little preview real quick. Just remind myself of some of the stuff. 91 and then 2007. Okay. All right. So today being Thursday, January 28th, 2020, let's take a look back at what happened on this day in each history. So the first thing we're going to look at, we're going to go back to 30 years ago today, 1991. On this date in 1991, Bruce Pritchard makes his final appearance as Brother Love during the character's original run. The final segment taped and aired the weekend of March 2nd sees Love insulting the Ultimate Warrior, who was set to face Randy Savage at WrestleMania 7. Um, yeah, okay. Um, actually, no, is that WrestleMania 7 or I think it's 1991? Yeah, so WrestleMania 7. Before Warrior began destroying the set, chasing Love to the ring and brutally attacking him. Pritchard then took a leave of absence from the WWF. Now, aside from portraying Brother Love, of course, Bruce Pritchard was also one of the agents for the WWF at the time. So, all right, 5 hours. Yeah. Leto, I know you don't want to, but if you never try, you never can. How if you hate it or like it? Wait, I think I said this before. Never mind. Ah, so anyway, oh yeah, so okay. So with that being said, let's look at the ha 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 ha. Was so much fun. His rants about the star people to his hyper sprint to the ring and high shaking on the ropes was amazing. Yeah, the Warrior was amazing there. So, anyways, so now as we go on to the next piece of niche history here. On this date in 2007, which was 14 years ago today, um, the anime Futari wa Precure Splash Star would complete its run on TV Asahi. So Pretty Cure Splash Star would complete its run on TV Asahi on this day 14 years ago in 2007. And finally, last piece in each news. On this date 6 years ago today, DC Comics would release on the newsstands the trade paperback of Showcase Presents Blue Beetle. It was 584 pages at a cost of $19.99. It basically had a bunch of reprints from a lot of mostly post-crisis Blue Beetle stories, but there were also a couple of pre-crisis, all of them featuring, of course, Ted Kord's version of the Blue Beetle. We'll talk more about Blue Beetle and his history as we go on in the historical journeys. But on this date, 6 years ago today, DC Comics would release Showcase, the trade paperback Showcase Presents Blue Beetle. So, with all that being said, guys, I thank you all for joining me tonight. Hopefully, Batgoat will be okay to co-host with me tomorrow night, but I will be sending the link to him, and I'll probably be sending it to one or two of you as well, just in the event that he's not able to go. So hopefully, and if we do end up having two or three, that's cool too. Having kind of a nice cross section of talking amongst ourselves over a lot of this stuff. Um, have a good one, everyone. Damn, now I want to watch Nightman, as he was a hero who never slept unless he was playing his sax. Night, Mike. Night, ATC. Night, Woody. Night, everybody. Good night, Anon. Good night. Night, Little. All right, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Be looking for the email or message with the link. GIG gig. Night Redfield. Good night, all. All right. So I shall bid you all adieu. Bye.